The question I'm asking in this presentation is, are you tracking your leads? I think lead tracking is step 0 of any digital marketing strategy, and yet I know that 80% of most private practices are not doing it. So if you know the answer is no, pay attention. If you're not sure what I mean by lead tracking, I'll get into it. But first, I'm Paul Manning. I'm with Themis Digital Marketing. I do growth marketing for different small businesses. Lately, I've been working a lot with therapists, people in private practice, and that's something I've enjoyed a lot. So if you're in these fields, especially couples counseling, I see a lot of potential in and seeing good results for acceptance and commitment therapy, reach out. If you're just an average Joe business owner, this is also useful for you as well. This is a vital strategy for any business that is doing any kind of digital marketing. Sorry about my hair. The quarantine's got things a little rough. Not having a barber is gonna make me into one of those Geico cavemen looking guys. So, as I said, most private practices aren't doing this now. The way I see it currently, most practices are doing what's seen in this picture here. They're spending money on a website, maybe doing some continuous SEO and content making, maybe spending some money on Google Ads, some money on social media. They know something happens, and then they get 12 new leads per month. So if each lead is worth about $1,000, you can calculate that quickly, how many sessions they go to on average and how much they spend on average at each session. Let's say $1,000, and you get $12,000 new dollars in additional revenue per month, which is pretty good. But you don't know where these people are coming from. Are they walking in on the street? Are they referrals? Is it from this money you're spending? Or, are you potentially wasting money here by not knowing what's going on? These are all useful questions that you can answer with a lead tracking strategy. So the way I see this is, if you compare your business to a grocery store, it'd be like if a grocery store didn't have cash registers. You'd have no idea what people are buying specifically. Instead, you have like a tip jar where people just put in cash, and you're making money at the end of the day either way, but you don't know if you're making money in the most efficient way possible. You don't know if you have just food that's rotting on the shelves and no one's touched in months, but you keep spending $1,000 a month in order to keep it on the shelves. You don't know if one of your kind of services has a greater demand and you're not providing enough content about it. These are all things that lead tracking helps you determine. It's all the reasons that every grocery store has a cash register, so that you can know what's going on with your inventory and your spending and your revenue. So do not continue to do this, is what I'd recommend. I'm Mr. Wolf from Pulp Fiction here. I'm walking in. You gotta stop. First, it's no way to measure your return on investment through all of your marketing strategies. There's no way to optimize these campaigns and marketing efforts as a result. Every action you make in your marketing campaigns should be based on getting leads for as cheaply as possible, right? If you're trying to grow your firm, just getting leads might be the thing that you're focusing on. If you're stable, then it's doing it as cheaply as possible. That helps you grow your practice in the long term. So again, just don't do it. Like I said, return on investment. You can determine a return on investment for each of your marketing campaigns and strategies only by tracking your leads. If the formula is the marketing cost of that strategy divided by the leads gained from the strategy, you get the cost per lead of doing that. If you're putting in $1,000 of Google Ads and you're getting one lead, that's a lot of money for one lead. And it's good to know that. In my practice, I aim to spend about $1 and get $3 in added value back for clients. So, pays for itself in the long term, investing in your firm's overall growth. And, I shoot for about an average of, less than $300 per lead. And, for each lead, it's about adding $1,000 in lifetime value on average I've seen. So, but without this, you have no idea to measure these outcomes. You have no idea to keep any marketing accountable. Which is my next point. It lets bad marketing companies stay in business. If you're not holding them accountable, if you're not making them show you which results come from what, then they could be giving you nothing. You could be spending $1,000 per month on an ad campaign that gets you nothing. And they might show you fancy figures like click-through rates. I've seen this way too often where they're optimizing based on who's clicking the ad the most, but you could make an amazing ad that's clicked 100% of the time that says, free therapy sessions, and if you're not giving it, then people get onto your page and they don't convert into a lead. So it's essentially a waste of money, and a lot of people are doing not that bad, but are doing similar things, and in the end, you could be wasting your budget on no results. So you don't want to let, was it Harold and Lloyd, the Dumb and Dumber kids, stay in business here. So in short, stop doing this. What you gain from this strategy of tracking each individual lead and where they came from is you get to know your ads. Which ads are converting the best? Which landing pages that people are coming to are working the best? Which keywords are people using to find you? And are there any new opportunities as a result of this information? So, when it comes to opportunities, you have all this data at your disposal. We're in the age of big data. You know where people are coming from to get to your site. Or at least Google knows. Google knows if you set this up, where they're coming from, what's their path to find you, and what are the demographics like. And then, again, are there any new opportunities to exploit based on this? Google wants to make this as easy as possible for you to have this information so you can make your site as user-friendly as possible. In the end, what Google wants is people engaging with content on Google. And that's why they made it free for you. You just have to set it up. So, here's some quick screenshots of what you gain from this information. You can look at specific ads, look at their text, see how many clicks, impressions, yada yada, all the stuff you see on Google Ads, but you get to know which ones are converting. This ad has converted 100% more people than this other ad at the same price. Why is that? And you can also see what keywords people are using to search for you. If these are the biggest keywords that have converted a couple people, these are ones that might be worth keeping on board, depending on the quality of the conversion. And again, just tracking overall data, knowing which days people called based on your Google Ads. You can track them to specific consumers and know that, this person was with me for 20 sessions and that's because they were searching for this term. So maybe this is a term that we should be using more in our digital marketing strategy. Very useful. And you get to know the sources of your data. In a month, if you got, 16 direct people, that's probably people returning back, maybe reaching out again, that know your brand and are typing it in. 13 are coming from Google Organic. So maybe your Google SEO, search engine optimization efforts are paying off. Getting 9 people from Google cost per click, that's pretty good. 6 from Facebook Messenger. 3 from Brighter Vision. You can get an idea of what you're spending for all of these outcomes and know if it's paying off. So that's the solution. The solution is to track these leads. And Google, like I said, makes it very easy. You just have to install a tracking code on each page on your site. And what it does is it generates a unique kind of number to track each session on Google. And they can use that to kind of group together users so that they know that this person came to your site by searching this, they click this, they watch this, and then they convert it into a lead. Google wants you to know this information. It's very, well, it's easier to get than you'd think. So, that's the key, is adding this tracking code. That solves the black box problem. And in the end, you get to know what is the cost per lead of each of your initiatives. If you're spending money on developing your site and SEO, and you got 4 leads out of it, spend $1,000, then you get $250 per lead. That's a good investment. Things like this. You can re-alter your bigger strategy goals, save some money. So, again, like I said, the Google tracking code tracks the 2 ways people get in touch with you, which is clicks and calls. Calls takes an extra software to put onto your site, which is really kind of magic and amazing. So I talk a bit about that in my next video if you need a tutorial about how to set this up. But the very specifics I won't get into here, but basically just tracking each call and where they came from and each click and where it came from is what you need to do. And as long as you do it in that mindset, you'll get what you're looking for. So if you're not technically minded or aren't sure what I'm talking about, I'll set it up for a small fee and a monthly fee. The software to track all the calls is $50 per month, but on top of that, For an extra 100, I can just give you a full report of where your leads are coming from, and you can at least have that information. You can act on it if you'd like or not, but all of that is useful. Otherwise, if you want to do it yourself, you can do that. I make a video about how to do it yourself for WordPress, but keep in mind there's a few things you have to do first. You have to install Google Analytics. It's for WordPress, and you might run into additional errors, and you just got to kind of figure that out on your own if that happens, but it should give you a good idea of how to put it together. And like I said, as long as you're tracking your calls and your forms, you're set. So if you want to contact me, you can contact me at paul@themisdigitalmarketing.com. There's my number. There's my website. If you want to see other things I offer. But again, this is the basis of what any strategy you have should be. If you don't know where and why someone is coming to you, you can't make a better business. So that's what I'll close on.